Have you ever reached the end of a long, exhausting day and quietly wondered what you actually accomplished? You answered messages, you attended meetings, you solved problems, you helped everyone. You moved from one task to another without stopping. You were busy from morning until night. Yet the one thing that mattered most remained untouched. The application was not submitted. The business idea was not developed. The course was not completed. The money was not saved. And the project you promised yourself you would finish was pushed into tomorrow once again. Somehow, despite doing so much, you still felt behind. That is one of the most frustrating forms of exhaustion. Not the tiredness that comes from meaningful progress. The tiredness that comes from giving your energy away all day and having very little to show for it. That is the hidden danger of busy work. It can make you feel productive while quietly keeping you from producing anything meaningful. And if this has become your pattern, please do not immediately call yourself lazy or undisciplined. You may simply be giving your time to what is loud instead of what is important. Busy work rarely looks like failure. It often looks responsible, helpful, organized, even productive. You answer one email, complete one quick request, check one notification, research a little more. Then one task becomes 10. The morning becomes afternoon. The afternoon becomes evening. And the work that could move your life forward is postponed again. Tomorrow arrives with its own demands, and the cycle repeats. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. And one day you realize you have been constantly active without truly progressing. The first shift a fruitful woman makes is learning to separate movement from meaningful progress. Imagine a woman spending the entire day in a garden. She sweeps the paths, rearranges the tools, cleans the pots, labels the seeds, checks the weather, reads about the best ways to grow fruit. She remains active from sunrise until evening, but she never plants anything. At sunset, she is exhausted. Her hands are tired. Her clothes are dirty. She feels as though she has worked, yet there is nothing in the ground that can grow. That is the difference between being busy and being fruitful. Busyness is activity. Fruitfulness is activity that creates a meaningful result. A fruitful woman does not only ask, "What can I do today?" She asks, "What can I complete today that will genuinely move my life forward?" Because every task is not equally valuable. Answering an email may be necessary, but completing your qualification could change your career. Cleaning your home may matter, but creating the proposal could grow your business. Helping someone may be kind, but agreeing to every request may be preventing you from honoring your own commitments. The problem is not that small tasks exist. The problem is allowing them to consume the time meant for your most meaningful work. The second shift a fruitful woman makes is learning to protect her best energy for the work that matters most. Maybe your mind is clearest in the morning, but instead of giving that time to your goal, you begin with emails, social media, housework, and everyone else's requests. By the time you are ready to focus, your attention is already tired. You tell yourself you will do it later, but later arrives and you no longer have the energy to begin. Then you blame yourself for lacking discipline. But perhaps your priorities are simply receiving the leftovers of your energy. You cannot continue giving your future whatever remains after the world has taken the best of you. Meaningful work needs a protected place in your day, not when everything else is finished. Because everything else is rarely finished. There will always be another message, another chore, another request, another small task that appears urgent. Choose a time when your mind is strongest and protect part of it for what matters. It may be 1 hour, 30 minutes, or even 15 focused minutes. The amount matters less than the consistency. The third shift a fruitful woman makes is turning vague goals into clear, visible actions. Work on my business is too broad. Improve my finances is too vague. Become healthier gives your mind too many places to escape. Instead, make the next step visible. Contact the supplier, write the product description, submit the application, Cancel one unnecessary subscription. Transfer a fixed amount into savings. Prepare tomorrow's meal. Book the appointment you have been postponing. Clarity makes action easier. A vague goal creates hesitation. A specific action gives you somewhere to begin. Before we continue, think about the area of your life where you have been busiest but seen the least progress. Is it your career, your finances, your business, your health, or your personal growth? Write one word in the comments. Just name the area where you are ready to stop performing busyness and start producing meaningful results. And subscribe to She Builds Within if you are building a life with more focus, discipline, confidence, and intention. Now, let us continue. The fourth shift a fruitful woman makes is choosing completion over endless preparation. As long as the work remains unfinished, it can still be perfect in your imagination. The business could succeed. The book could be brilliant. The application could be accepted. The project could impress everyone. But the moment you complete and release it, it can be judged. People can ignore it, criticize it, reject it, or tell you it is not good enough. So you keep researching, planning, adjusting, preparing. You tell yourself you are being thorough. But sometimes perfectionism is simply procrastination dressed as high standards. Unfinished potential produces no result. A good idea hidden in your notebook cannot help anyone. A course you continually plan to finish cannot improve your opportunities. A product that is never released cannot serve a customer. A conversation you keep rehearsing cannot resolve the problem. At some point, preparation must become completion. Your first attempt may be awkward. Your first video may receive very few views. Your first offer may need improvement. Your first application may be unsuccessful. But feedback can only improve something that has been completed and released. You cannot learn from a result you never allowed yourself to produce. The fifth shift a fruitful woman makes is creating boundaries that protect her time, focus, and capacity. When you stop being constantly available, some people may say you have changed. When you protect your work time, they may call you distant. When you no longer solve every problem, they may question your kindness. But being helpful should not require abandoning your future. You are allowed to say, I cannot do that today. I am unavailable during that time. I need to finish something important. That is not a priority for me right now. A boundary does not mean you do not care. It means you understand that caring for everything equally will eventually leave you unable to care well for anything. Your dream should not always be the first thing cancelled when someone else makes a request. Your development should not continually be postponed because another person failed to plan. Your rest should not be treated as unused time that anyone can claim. The fruitful woman is generous, but she is not endlessly accessible. She supports others without repeatedly sacrificing the work she is responsible for completing. The sixth shift a fruitful woman makes is measuring her days by what moved forward, not by how exhausted she felt. Exhaustion is not proof of progress. A full schedule is not always a productive schedule. At the end of the day, do not only ask, how much did I do? Ask, what did I finish? What moved forward? What did today produce? Some days the result may be small. 1 page written, 1 application submitted, 1 client contacted, 1 amount saved, 1 difficult decision made. But 1 completed action has more power than 10 good intentions. Completion builds confidence. Every time you finish something meaningful, you create evidence that you can trust yourself. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is always preparing to begin. You become someone who follows through. The seventh shift a fruitful woman makes is learning to stay patient with results while remaining honest about her methods. We live in a world that celebrates visible success and rarely shows the quiet work that produced it. You see the successful launch, but not the months of preparation. You see the qualification, but not the nights of study. You see the growing business, but not the early days with very few customers. You see the confident woman, but not the private moments when she doubted herself and continued anyway. Fruitfulness is not instant gratification. Some results require repetition before they become visible. A gardener does not dig up the seed every morning to check whether it is growing. She waters it, protects it, gives it time. Your discipline may be strengthening before anyone notices. Your confidence may be growing each time you do something difficult. Your finances may be improving through small decisions that do not yet feel dramatic. Do not abandon a good process simply because the result has not appeared quickly, but patience does not mean continuing blindly. Review what you are doing. Ask yourself, which activities are actually creating results? Which tasks only make me feel occupied? What can I simplify? What can I stop? What can I delegate? What deserves more of my attention? A fruitful woman can examine her methods without attacking her identity. She can say, "This approach did not work," without saying, "I am a failure." She can change the plan without abandoning the purpose. She can begin again without waiting for another Monday, another month, or another year. So after this video, do not create another overwhelming plan. Choose one result. Only one. Decide what meaningful progress would look like in the next 7 days. Then identify the next action. Make it clear, make it realistic, give it protected time, and finish it. Not perfectly, but fully enough that it can exist outside your imagination. There is a fruitful woman within you. She may wake up in the same home, work the same job, carry the same responsibilities, and have the same dreams. But she uses her attention differently. She knows what matters. She protects time for meaningful work. She completes more than she announces. She measures progress by results, not exhaustion. She rests without guilt. She says no without writing a full apology. She stops using busyness to hide from the work that could transform her life. And slowly, her days begin producing something, a completed qualification, a stronger financial foundation, a finished project, a growing business, a healthier body, a calmer mind, a life that reflects what she says she values. Not because someone gave her more time, but because she stopped scattering her energy across everything that asked for it. She became selective, focused, patient, consistent, fruitful. Your life does not need more activity for the sake of activity. It needs effort that has somewhere meaningful to go. Your time matters. Your attention matters. Your ideas matter. Your work matters. And the goals you continually postpone deserve more than whatever energy remains at the end of the day. You do not have to become a completely different woman overnight. You only need to stop measuring your worth by how exhausted you are. You do not need to do everything. You need to do the right things consistently. You do not need another year of preparation. You need the courage to produce one result, then another, until the life you kept planning becomes the life you are actually building. If this message spoke to you, write this in the comments. I am choosing progress over busyness. Then share the one result you are committed to producing this week. Subscribe to She Builds Within for more conversations about intentional living, discipline, confidence, focus, financial growth, self-worth, and becoming the woman you know you can be. And remember this: a full schedule does not always mean a fruitful life. You are not here merely to remain occupied. You are here to build, to create, to complete, to contribute, to produce something meaningful with the time, ability, and opportunities already in your hands. Stop measuring your days by how much they drained you. Begin measuring them by what they helped you grow. Because the fruitful woman is not the woman who does everything. She is the woman who knows what matters and gives it enough of herself to make it real.